We are live now.
Hello.
Hi, hello.
Hi.
Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to 22 Yard Secrets. Here is an effort to go ahead with the preview of the Boxing Day Test match that is going to be played at MCG between India and Australia on 26th. So here I have in my panel both Aditya Raghavan and Adi Junior. And we have a new face in Nevin Francis, who is also a great cricket enthusiast. Moment he starts sharing his views, you'll get to know he looks at the game from a different angle, and I'm really happy that he is going to present his views in my channel also. And of course, the familiar face, Vaidyanath. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining me. And just a minute, I'm not able to. Let me.
Well, I found
Yeah,
the link, so I'll share it with people. Okay.
okay, great. Yeah,
Okay.
Please
thanks a
carry
lot.
on. You start with the debate. Yes.
All right, guys. So, okay, with respect to the playing 11, which has been announced for India, there has been a lot of changes. Prithvi Shaw has been axed, and Shubman Gill comes in as an opener. Ravindra Jadeja has come in, probably a five bowler theory, which Rahane prefers than Kohli's style. And on top of it, you have Mohammad Siraj, who is going to be a debutant. And of course, Saha leaves way for Rishabh Pant. Rahane has shown his trust on Vihari and, Mayank Agarwal, which is great. I would like to know all your views on that. Why do you want to go first?
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah.
So first, I think it's a fairly balanced squad.
Okay.
And the five bowler theory that Rahane prefers is also from the fact that he's much more comfortable, handling the rotation with five bowlers and specifically two spinners that he would want generally.
Okay.
Which I think would also help India
Mm,
in some of the situations where, especially during the second session, etc., where they want to bowl out the spinners to utilize the first session and the third session with the seam bowlers. They would have two spinners rather than tiring out the all the three fast bowlers there. So that's something that I think is a good idea.
okay.
The only thing that I wanted to probably see is I wanted to see Rahul play Test for India again. But if you really ask me, where would you fit him in? I don't think I would probably fit him in to open at this point of time.
Okay.
But is it for Hanuma Vihari that you would bring him? Is a question. But I think we need to give that long rope to Hanuma Vihari. So
Mm,
I'm kind of okay at this point of time. Rahul is not playing, but that's the only thing that I would probably would have preferred, but I don't know how. So that's the quick summary about the composition of the team for tomorrow.
all right. Adi, what is your take on the playing 11? Aditya Raghavan. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, first of all, a bit sad for Prithvi Shaw, I would say,
Correct.
because he's a
Yeah.
young kid and he's been overhyped as Tendulkar and all those things, and he's been fed stories about all those things, and
Yeah.
now he's been just like completely dumped right now. So he has seen both the extremes where he was called the next best thing, and then now he's out of the squad and out of sorts. So a lot of commiserations for him, and he actually deserves a better coaching unit, a
Yeah.
better coach and a batting coach, and who will actually guide him better.
Yeah.
Because overhyping him, part of the reason is Ravi Shastri also calling him Lara Tendulkar and all those things, and ridiculous. So I feel bad about him. He has done nothing wrong. He's just one kid who has failed and failed. I don't even that word is a bit too much actually. He just did not bat well in the first test match. So hope
Wrong,
he gets
wrong
back.
timing.
Yeah, hope he gets back to his best and hope he does well again. And on the batting lineup, I felt it's still a bit weak. we already had a terrible loss in the first test. See, after 36 all out, I thought more heads will fall on the players who actually from the first test match. So I thought
Correct.
KL Rahul might come in for Vihari. Vihari, I understand he has done really well. He deserved to play in the test matches because he has
Yeah.
done what is required. He scored a lot of runs in Ranji and all those things. But I
Correct.
still feel because most of our batsmen are out of sorts, actually. And I know that KL Rahul does not deserve by statistics that he gets inside the
Correct.
team right now because he hasn't done anything to deserve a test spot right now. But
Yeah.
it is purely because of the kind of the game he plays. It's a bit more
Yeah.
attacking, bit more positive side. And
Mm.
looking at all the batsmen are struggling. We have too many defensive batsmen. I feel because you have Pujara, you have Rahane who's a bit out of sorts, and Vihari is also not the aggressive kind of a player. So
Mm.
I felt that adding KL Rahul would add some edge to the attack, and I like that Ravindra Jadeja has come in. He will add that bowling. He will improve our fielding immediately. That's the most important thing. He'll improve our
Yeah.
fielding, the ground fielding, and the catching immediately. And
Correct.
his batting form has been good. So, but this is a good opportunity for him to establish. And I don't mind Siraj. I had posted saying that we can try with someone like a Natarajan, but I don't mind Siraj because Siraj deserves this place. Because out of all the players, he has the numbers. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with
Okay.
it, except for the KL Rahul thing.
Adi, I just have a question there. Okay, see, when you see Umesh Yadav and Mohammad Siraj, more or less they are pretty much same kind of bowler with respect
Yeah.
to their style and execution. Okay,
Yes.
do you think instead of Siraj, the team management should have looked somebody like Saini, who is a tall, lanky, fast bowler, and could probably extract bounce from this condition, which is also helpful for such fast bowlers. What is your take on that?
That that was the reason why I thought getting in Natarajan actually more because Saini again I understand he's a bit different from Siraj, but he's not
Yeah.
that different from Siraj also. So that doesn't make that much of a difference. And if you
Mm.
just compare Saini and Siraj, if you don't pick Siraj, then you are actually telling him that his Ranji numbers don't matter at all. So that's a wrong signal to sent to a bowler because he has worked hard to get that place. And I mean, he
Correct.
showed amazing commitment also. His dad passed away. He still stayed with the touring party. He's there out for the team. I mean, I
Yeah.
know that's not the reason for you to give someone a place in the test side, but purely by numbers and considering
Yeah.
all three are similar, you have to go for Siraj. I would have picked someone like a Natarajan just to add a bit of twist to the attack and also about helping the bowling attack take out the lower order. And also, Natarajan is not a kid actually. Natarajan is 29 years old. He's not a rookie, and he doesn't have too much time actually to get into a test lineup. This was his best chance, I would say. But I don't mind.
Correct.
I don't mind. I mean, I have no problems having Siraj inside. He completely deserves this place more than Saini. Yes.
The only thought around that is Prashant, just to have
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
slightly different view around this is I think
Yeah.
Saini is more closer to Umesh as a bowler and the style of bowling where he hits
Yeah.
the deck and gets the pace going. Whereas
Yeah.
Siraj, when you look at domestic and the India, like what Aditya was saying, the good numbers that are supporting him, and he's also a person who can actually move the ball better than both of them
Okay.
in these situations. So that's one reason why you would definitely want Siraj there instead of Saini. Why not
Okay.
Nattu? And why Siraj? I think Nattu was only brought in as a replacement the moment Ishant was not there, but Siraj was there as a first choice in the 14 squad. So if you really bring Nattu at this point of time instead of Siraj, then there's something fundamentally wrong in what you have actually done as a selection for a test series.
Yeah.
Uh,
No.
one
But we
and
keep doing that,
also,
right? We keep doing that. Our selections have been shambles for years now. So
yes, you're
actually,
right.
I would say that if Nattu has played, I would not have been surprised because Siraj was made to have his T20 debut before his Test debut. So
Yeah.
I don't think we see records. I don't think we see anything.
No,
We
it's
just go
not
by some
not
selection.
about records alone. Not about records alone. My point of view is you've seen or all this reactions are based on Natu's form in T20s or white ball cricket,
Mm.
right?
I mean, the
He's
entire
not been
test
showing.
selection is based on T20 batting. That's what they do right now.
No,
I
we
mean,
do that. We
if
do
you're
that,
an
right?
IPL star, you get inside actually. I mean, that's why
See,
Prithvi Shaw was
Siraj
being
came
so.
into
And
T20 because he gave away 45 runs every time he played for SRH. Beautiful selection. That's why you bring in someone like that into
See,
T20.
So
and one more thing which we didn't discuss is Rishabh Pant getting inside Saha. He should have played the first test match. Like Prithvi Shaw, well, Shubman Gill should have played the first test match. They have been late actually. Yeah.
Adi, just to, we'll hover around T. Natarajan's inclusion. I have an important question. When you have a left-handed bowler in the mix, okay, uh, is it better to sort of give him a go ahead? Because, if you look at all the top test teams, okay, something like Australia, they have Mitchell Stark. You have Wagner for New Zealand, and Sam Curran did wonders for England. The moment a left arm seamer comes, the entire dynamics changes, and having T Natarajan in the scheme of things, they would have actually seen him, help all the batters around with his bowling in the nets. Why not, try that option? It would have
We
actually
we tried we
Yeah.
tried we
Well,
tried
one,
with couple of players,
okay.
Harinder Saran, and then we went with Khalil Ahmed just because they are left armers, and we really
yeah.
saw that they are not up to it. So my point with Natarajan is he's a good bowler, but throwing him into Test cricket right now when we are in crisis, this team management will sack him even from one-day team if he performs bad in Test team. I don't want that
exactly,
for him.
true.
No, I mean,
These people
yeah.
will throw him out.
For the personal welfare of Natarajan, I understand his concern. But one more thing actually which we are not addressing here is see, Natarajan is a guy who bowls to the wickets. He bowls to the stumps always, and
Agree.
he's not a seam bowler who's trying to get it outside off stump and all that. If you see the success of Australian bowlers in the second innings, I mean, even Josh Hazelwood have said in that press conference, he said that the difference was we were
Yeah,
bowling the same length actually, but this time we focused on the stumps and
correct.
hitting the stumps. And Indians also used to fail because they also bowl this beautiful length on the offside, which the batsman keep leaving.
Yeah,
Natarajan is a guy who hits the stumps like 9 out of 10 times every time.
correct.
So he's always in the mix in terms of taking
But
wickets.
Adi, I think you would have seen and heard of what Tom Moody and other people were saying about Natarajan. They always say he's a fantastic defensive bowler. He kind of pushes the
Agree.
batsman to not to score runs. So in Test cricket, if you are so defensive, I'm not really sure that you will be able to chip in a lot of wickets because
Exactly.
he's going to corrupt the instincts of the batsman. He's not going to bowl
Yeah,
a delivery which is going to get a wicket, right? So I feel it's
but
too early
again,
for him to be thrown
but
out
again, but
in this
again,
match.
Natarajan was also called as just a Yorker bowler. He evolved into a seam and length bowler, and also the other deliveries. He brought in the short ball. He's a guy
Was
who's
it again,
constantly evolving, and he has a
Adi,
lot of.
was it again overhyped? See, T20, when the batsman is all out on the attack, okay, Yorkers are the best delivery to defend. And because he was doing that consistently,
Yeah,
people did not see the holistic picture of T Natarajan.
yeah.
Was it really, something like a overhyped scenario that he is only a Yorker specialist, nothing else he can bowl? Because in
Yeah,
ODI, he did
I think
show
it's
some
more
class.
of a, I think it's more of a media stereotype in terms of Yorker specialist and all that. But
Yeah,
no, I mean, people like to easily categorize people, right? They call Prithvi Shaw Tendulkar, so it makes very easy. If you do a backward cover drive, you become Tendulkar. So it doesn't
yeah,
matter that he has scored 35,000 runs. Suddenly you'll become
yeah.
Tendulkar. But no, that's not the point. What I'm trying to say is, with the third fast bowler, because we don't have Shami, you're already taking a punt. You're gambling. You're gambling with the third bowler,
Correct,
because this
correct.
Siraj is also going to be a debut. So what I
Yeah.
thought, it was more of an attacking gamble if you pick Nataraj. Siraj is the more conventional pick. I didn't mind it. Yeah.
But
See, at the end
Adi,
of the day,
I go with Junior as well. We're saying that as a bowler and the type of bowler that Natarajan now is, he might probably not suit the third fast bowler, role at this point of time. What you should probably do is you need to bring in that kind of either a wicket taking ability when two of your best bowlers are doing right,
yeah,
move the ball when he's supposed to be, and at the same time get batsman defensive. And the thing is, when you say defensive, it's not the white ball defensive. White ball defensive is bowling stump to stump. Here, it's
correct.
those the corridors that you have to hit on a regular basis. He's not that bowler yet, and he's not been that bowler even in first class or wherever it is. So we need that time. Let's see how he performs at the highest level, and then probably need to bring him. But Siraj has
Yeah.
actually shown that already in first class levels already, and that's
Yeah.
something that we need to probably respect and give him the
You're right.
chance now. And
Great, great.
uh,
Yeah,
Even though
Which is why I don't mind Siraj being there. I have no problem with Siraj being there. It's more like a
I
personal
mean,
choice for me because he
yeah,
reminds me a bit of Irfan Pathan. If you remember the 2003 series, also Irfan Pathan was more like this cut and seam and Yorker kind of swing bowler, and but of course Irfan Pathan had a bit more of an extended first class record before he made debut. But for me, it's like a personal choice. I don't mind Siraj at all. Siraj completely deserves this place. Yes.
see, at the end
I
of the
will
day,
ask
guys.
this question, Prashant, here.
Yeah, no,
But
one minute,
it's
one
not
minute.
just with this. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
No, at the end of the day, see, you find any new talent playing his international debut, that too in a test match, in a place like Boxing Day. It we I mean, it's good that the entire nation backs that talent, and just go ahead with the flow. But I think with respect to the technical glitches, I think Nevin has sorted it out. Before we go on further with the discussions, Nevin, I would like to really know your first insights with respect to this team combination, what we have picked for the Boxing Day test.
I don't know if you guys remember when Javagal Srinath arrived into the international cricket scene.
Yeah,
Seen all over the place. When
correct,
Ishan Sharma came into the cricketing scene, he was seen as a raw talent. He was bowling all over the place. But what the
correct.
selectors or the administrator, that point of
And you got
I
cut
think
again.
we lost him. Yeah, that's okay.
So he started
He'll
off with, remember when Jawahar Srinath came and all? I don't remember. Allah Romba Shmonala. I probably didn't
No,
even
the
see
best
those
part,
matches.
the best part about Nevin is he really follows the game from the purest angle for a quite long
Seriously.
period of time. He can connect to some relevant
Yeah, yeah.
examples or good analogies actually.
I'm just
Okay, we'll
trying to
wait
think
for him.
whether he meant that the selectors took the punt with young bowlers at that time. So,
Correct.
Correct. Yeah. That's a Nevin.
He's back, I
If you're
guess.
on, if you're on, please continue, Nevin.
sorry guys, very irritating.
Hey, no problem. Come on, it's okay.
Yeah. Sorry,
One,
I know
one
it's very
advantage
irritating, but
of
I can't
going
help it
live
with
is
a connection like this. So what I meant to Yeah. So what I meant to say is, if you look at both of these analogies, it is not just important to pick up raw talents and bring them onto the international scene. I mean, it might be baptism by fire, but it's important to back them for a period of time before they might be your world-class bowlers. So with
awesome.
Mohammad Siraj, you can see that the basics are in place. It is just
Correct.
that on Australian wickets, he needs to immediately realize that the length matters. Okay, you need to make
Perfect.
those batsmen play, and you should
100%.
not be worrying about the run. You should come out of the T20 mentality. So that is where I feel
Yeah.
Siraj could be a surprise element for the Aussies. Natarajan is your line and length bowler, but maybe they
Yeah.
have Australians have already studied him. Siraj could bring that surprise element which is not visible for a coach for Justin Langer on the camera. He can bring something extra, which could be a break
Correct.
or make. It is all in theory, but it's how he
Yeah.
applies it. So I think
Fantastic
it's a
viewpoint.
good selection.
Yeah.
Whatever we say about Harvey, he has seen the game. He knows to play on the minds of the opposition. So I
Yeah.
would say go with Siraj now, and let's see how it
Mm.
plays out.
Okay. One of the important, there is a good question which is posted by Adi, of course. Here, thoughts on Saha's future. Yeah, go on, Junior, please.
I told you in last video which we did. I told
Yeah.
you these people are going to throw out Vridhiman Saha and Prithvi Shah. I told you
Yeah.
this. They won't back them. Now they
Yeah.
are thrown under the bus. This
Yeah.
is why I said if you have trusted them, you should give them another game. See, you have given them a ping ball test cricket in
Yeah.
Adelaide, and
And it's
now you
not
have
easy.
gone with someone else for red ball in a flat MCG wicket. So if Gill goes on to score 100, are we
Correct.
going to say Gill is so far ahead than Prithvi Shah and Rishabh Pant is miles ahead than Vridhiman Shah? This doesn't
Mm.
make any sense. See, you should have given them another game considering this is a flat track and this is
Yeah.
the red ball game. So now I'm sure Saha's future, as the question has arisen, is going
Yeah.
to be a question. Where are you going to play him? Everyone said don't go for him because your batting order is already weak. But we
Yeah.
said we wanted a specialist keeper. Did Saha
Mhm.
call himself, I am the specialist keeper, come and pick me? He never said that. But
Yeah.
the media and the great Ravi Shastri and our team management, Virat Kohli, every time he does that. We have selected Vridhiman Saha because he's the best wicket keeper we have. Are you trying to say the person who's sitting beside him is no bit? Is that what the statement means? You can come out and say we are
Yeah.
backing Saha because we want him. That's it. Why do you want to say he's the best wicket keeper? Then who's the other person sitting there?
No, see that
Idiotic.
that comes from the ideology that they have to be always right. They cannot go wrong. That is the mentality
Yeah.
of Shastri and Kohli. Let's leave that aside. Now that Kohli is not there, only Shastri is probably putting all
Drinking
those
somewhere.
bad ideas into Rahane. But let's stick to the team combination and then dissect it for the audience. With respect to, I actually have a question. MCG never, has seen a team backing two spinners. Now you have both Ashwin and Jadeja, who is going to tie up Australia's middle order much better. And the fast bowlers can also get breather and they can be fresh in their spells. What is your view about it? Anyone can go first.
I'll
I
go
think
there
Jadeja is
first.
more a batsman now.
Yeah, Vaidi,
Exactly.
please. Yeah,
I had the same answer. Jadeja is playing more of a batsman, and the reason also in the last 4 years he has better average than Rahul and Rahane
yeah,
in Test, and you can definitely pay him as a pure batsman to a large extent. Improves the
okay,
fielding, brings
yeah,
in that left-hander option onto the table.
okay,
Specifically because most of the wickets, if you see the way Pat Cummins and Hazelwood took, they were actually comfortable bowling to all right-handers in the corridor of uncertainty, and
correct.
they did not have to change their line and length for any reason at all. Everyone was playing the same shot, except
Yeah,
for Kohli, who played a really bad shot. But
yeah,
they were just putting it there, and we were getting out. And you need that difference to bring in a left-hander into the mix to
correct.
make them change, make them think differently. Of course, it's
Mhm.
going to be difficult playing Lion. He's been bowling brilliantly in Australian
Yeah,
pitches, but having said that, it brings in a level of difference to the entire batting setup and makes the bowler think, and that's needed.
just
Now
just
we have two left-handers.
just one additional question there. Now, Lion is actually going to enjoy bowling against that particular middle order phase where there is going to be two left-handers, both Ravindra
Rishabh Pant
Jadeja
and
and Rishabh Pant. How
yeah.
you read that scenario, Vaidi?
Look, I definitely feel that Lion is going to actually enjoy bowling to the left-hander. But
Okay,
what it would also mean is he was actually bowling brilliantly well, even to a proper spinner specialist like Pujara. The
correct.
line and length and the way he was hitting the bat pad so often, that will be a little. So it's more of kind of putting a bait there in the
Mhm.
left-handers for Lion to actually kind of save the likes of Pujara and others to play it out safely, at least
Okay,
Lion and others, so that it gives them that comfort. So that's one way I look at it.
okay,
Two, Pant is not going to be a standard left-hander to bowl at. So
okay.
he will definitely give you that kind of swat
Yeah.
on the leg,
Yeah.
Yeah.
flat batted shots on the off, one over the bowler once in a while. So it's not going to be easy from that perspective. So he's definitely it's going to be interesting with line bowling to the left-handers, but it's not a standard left-hander that he would be bowling with Pant, at least in the batting lineup there.
Adi, you want to add some points there? Yeah,
Yeah, actually, there is a question coming in from Arjun Murugesan, who has put
correct.
it on
Yeah,
YouTube. Actually.
yeah,
So he has asked about, I mean, just harking back to the same spinner's point of view. He said the
correct.
spinners
Yeah.
did well in the first test match. So how do you think they'll fare in the MCG is one question. And
Mhm.
just on Jadeja, I think as Vaidhi was saying again, he will immediately improve your fielding. That's first thing. He will do that because we had terrible drop catches in the first test match. That should not return again. And
Correct.
also, yeah, he's primarily a batsman. But one more thing is, I think for the first time, Ashwin will have a partner to bowl with in a foreign condition.
Correct.
As a spinner, like a twin spinner concept with Ashwin and Jadeja, they will be bowling together in a Sena match after like quite a while. I think they've never done. I'm not sure. So that Ashwin will have some support from the other end based on that. And one more
Yeah.
thing is, I think what happened with the since our middle, I mean, the top order is very brittle. Whenever we
Yeah.
lose 3 or 4 wickets, what happens when you have people like Vihari, Saha, and all those people is those people will
Correct.
not accelerate. Those people will cannot. Those people cannot actually stand the bowling, and they cannot accelerate also. So
Yeah.
with Jadeja and Pant, if you lose 4 down or 5 down, at least they'll start attacking. So you have a chance of getting like a 200 or 220 far
Correct.
better than someone like a Vihari and Saha, because they cannot. I told this actually in the preview of the first match that they cannot
Mm.
force the issue. They cannot force the attack. Saha
Mm.
or Vihari, they don't have the game to become suddenly aggressive. So at least our
Okay.
lower order has more punch right now.
Yeah.
But I really have doubts about how Jadeja is going to perform as a test main batsman. I
Mm.
don't think he has the game for it, and the bowling attack he's facing is the best bowling attack right now in the world. So
Correct.
I have doubts about that. If he does reasonably well in batting 35, 40 runs, even if he scores, he's like a massive
Mm.
addition to the team. So yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Great point of view. Nevin Junior, you want to add some points about Ravindra Jadeja's inclusion?
To me, Ravindra Jadeja's inclusion is a no-brainer. Had he been fit in the first test, I'm sure he would have been there. But maybe we would have dropped Ashwin to pick Jadeja. That would have gone against us. But the way I see it is, see, I don't have anything against Vihari, right? But he has played for
Yeah.
2 years. And I haven't seen him come out. He did not attack. At least
Correct.
sulk in the pressure and then do something. He hasn't done that yet. So now
Yeah.
with Virat not available and all that, he is somehow retaining his place. But I would like to see Jadeja being played in place of Vihari. One,
Correct.
Yeah.
as Vaidi was saying, he's a left-hander, and
Yeah.
his defense is really underrated. He has
Correct.
shown how defensive he can be in Test cricket for so
Mm.
long now. So him being the number 6 is going to be actually more helpful for us. I think probably the next couple of years is the best time for us to play both Ashwin and Jadeja because of the way Jadeja as a player has improved, and he
Yeah.
will not be our sole spinner. He's not even our spinner. He's our
Mm.
all-round player now. So I
Correct.
think Jadeja's inclusion is just there to be there for a
Yeah.
longer time,
Mm.
and Nathan Lyon will trouble him. He's going to trouble any left-hander in the world. Even
Correct.
Alistair Cook was not able to do anything against Nathan Lyon. So
Correct.
everyone is going to be trouble. But I would rather have a left-hander face Nathan Lyon than the set of right-handers we have to face Hazelwood and Pat Cummins, because they're going to
Yeah.
chip them away any delivery. At least with Nathan Lyon, probably a sweep here and there, they can nudge, they can price some runs out. But
Yeah.
Mm.
it's really needed. And the inclusion of punt, I'm just crossing the line to speak about punt, but I
Oh, please.
want
Yeah.
to be sure that when you have given this guy a chance, trust him.
Yeah.
Don't do what you did to Saha. If you have
Yeah.
Correct.
trusted in punt, the next 3 games you are going with punt. There's no point of saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
punt did not come and score 100 to win us a game." No,
Yeah.
no one does that the moment they step up. He has already scored 200s for you in Sena conditions, whatever it
Mm.
might be. Now you need to say, okay, there is a 36-year-old keeper, which we are
Yeah.
not sure of how we are going to trust him. There is a 23-year-old kid who can give us an explosive game. Now you have
Yeah.
to back him to the core. If you
Correct.
don't do it, then if they don't do it, I will say sack Shastri. I don't care. Sack Kohli. Sack anyone, because I don't want Gill, Shah, Pant careers to be ruined. I don't care who the captain is.
I've been
Very,
saying
Kohli,
this,
not a fan.
Shastri and
very,
Kohli
very.
sack for nearly 2-3 years now. Why only now?
So, hey, one more
No,
question
no.
coming in, Prashant, from Kavi Arasu, from one of the commenters.
I was about to
Kavi,
touch that only,
yeah,
Adi, to be honest, because
yeah,
when he mentioned, sack Kohli and Shastri for not trusting the youngsters, now Gill is trusted upon as an opener right now. The moment Rohit Sharma is going to be available, again, the discussions going to loom around whether Rohit Sharma, the expert opener, has to come back and Gill has to leave way for him.
drop
No,
Mayank,
no,
The
but,
drop
expert.
Mayank Agarwal. See, what? He has not been dropped yet. Drop Mayank Agarwal.
but frankly speaking, Rohit will not come into the team as an opener. Simple. He will come into
Yeah.
the team as a middle order bat. So to a large extent, Mike
But
and Gill will
he
be
was
given
called the
another
next
option.
big opening hope.
Yeah. I
In
mean,
Test match, I don't think they will bring Rohit to
Who
open
said
at this.
that actually when he scored that
no, the
Dabba
best part
100
is,
in India,
guys,
right?
the best part is, guys, all these current coaching staff and even the captain and some of the pundits, no, they are never short of adjectives. Yeah, when it comes to calling people, and they sort of eat up their own words. At least the performances would make them eat their own words. That is
I
time
have
and
a
again
prediction. I
happening.
have a prediction. Just like how in 2019 World Cup we ended with 3 wicket keepers in the lineup. At the end of the Test series, we are going to end with 6 openers. Actually, amazing! All 6 are openers. Okay, it's going to happen. We're going to see that.
Right.
And
Hey,
the
I would
last
like to
inning,
hear Nevin's view also on this.
yeah,
Nevin,
yeah.
Yeah. The original question was about Jadeja. So since you guys were
yeah,
focusing on his batting, I would say he is in Test match. He is not pretty much considered as a bowler. But the difference he would make is sometimes he will strangle on the batsman and test their patience. So you have
yeah,
Bumrah who can if you're not making that is strangle the batsman and test their patience. Now I think
correct.
Ashwin needs to be a bit more aggressive and not focus on containing batsmen. That is where
Super point.
Jadeja can ball in partnership. And maybe,
Yeah,
for example, one of the bowlers having a bad spell. So they say Siraj, he's very raw. You can immediately
yeah,
bring him in and count on him not to leak runs just like that. He will be constantly bowling on the pad. There is a bad pad chance there because of the bounce in Aussie wickets. And there is also
yeah,
this left arm. He's a left arm off spinner. He's not a leg spinner.
correct.
So his accuracy would any day be more than a leg spinner. So
Yeah,
I think that brings an extra option for the captain to rotate the bowlers and
mm,
also give some bowling in partnership, which we would really miss because Ishant is not there and Shami is not there.
okay. Great
No,
point.
but just a
Yeah.
follow.
See, I'm just reading a
Sorry.
comment from
Uh,
a
Adi,
viewer.
I would take that comment. You don't worry. I just want to hear
Yeah,
Whitey's viewpoint on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just to
Whitey,
sure,
go
follow
sure.
ahead.
on what Nevin was talking about,
Yeah,
super point. With
yeah,
Jadeja coming in, we would expect Ashwin to be a little more,
attack.
attacking. Which
Yeah,
also, when both Jadeja and Ashwin were playing, they were
yeah,
they were bowling brilliantly as a pair. And at one point of time, they were number one bowlers, test bowlers at the same time. So which
yeah,
also shows how do they fare and how do they bowl together. And the
mm,
idea is, it gives Ashwin much more comfort to actually bowl his off spinners more often than trying out his leggies once in a while, especially all those left-handers who are coming in. I would definitely
correct.
request Ashwin to do this. Please stick to his off spinners. He was bowling brilliantly well. Especially in the second inning.
Yeah.
The second innings, and he was trying too many things in between. That's where he starts to lose
No,
his rhythm.
that's a very valid point. Okay, with respect to a couple of comments, what I see here is one is from Rafael D. Nito. Thanks a lot for your question. Should India try Natarajan in place of Siraj? Rafael, actually, in the initial part of our discussions, we dissected and sort of talked about Natarajan as well as Siraj. What are their track records from Ranji Trophy and how T. Natarajan evolved as a bowler, other than being branded as a Yorker specialist. We did cover this point. So, we want to discuss a few more other aspects. So, don't mind, please go back to the earlier part of the video. You would definitely get the answers. Deepak Mishra has put in another point. Jadeja and Punt will be the game changer this time. I feel that's a very positive vibe. Deepak, keep going with that. India needs that badly. What about KL? Will he going to open with Gill or he will play in the
He's not in that
middle
team.
order? The team
Not
11 is
going.
He's not
announced.
playing at all.
KL Rahul is not playing at all. That's the information for you. And I mean, he is definitely a shorter format superstar right now. But then his test averages was considered probably for his selection into the playing 11. They are still backing Bihari, which personally for me is a good choice. Now, I want this panel to actually discuss about Shubman Gill as an opener. Okay, let see. I know it was harsh on Shah. Both are youngsters. Um, Leaving aside Shah's viewpoint and how the team has handled him, we'll put that aside for now and talk about Shubman Gill as an opener. How he should approach tomorrow, having a new partner in Mayank Agarwal, who's also pretty much worried about his performances in Boxing Day Test.
So to me, I would start. I would
Yeah,
say, if we all sit in Shubman Gill's shoes now and we think,
yeah,
okay, so now I've been trusted as the opener, right? The Rohit
yeah,
Sharma issue, he comes back. He has been the opener. He got injured. That is the only reason actually Prithvi Shaw came in. If not, it would have been Mayank Agarwal and Rohit Sharma. So now I've been told as the opener because there are so many issues with Virat not being there, etc., etc. Is this my role? Let us say if even he goes on to score 100, I'm just trying to see whether he would feel, okay, I'm going to be the test opener on a longer run, or is this just papering over the crack, or they're just using me as a band-aid, right? I'm sure he's not going to think that deep, but to me as a fan, I look at it and I feel, what is his role? Is he really going to be my long-term hope as a test opener? Because we did this with Vihari. Vihari played in SCG. One test match as an opener. He was bombarded with short balls. The very next game, we withdrew him. We said, no, go back to number 6. So with Shubman Gill, I really want to see if that's the plan, stick with him. Immaterial of how he performs. Rohit Sharma does not get a free pass next game to be the opener. If we do that, then the takeaway of this series is you have spoiled Prithvi Shaw, you have spoiled Shubman Gill. So I really want to see that clarity. So this game, I don't want it to be a crucial game for him. Whatever runs he scores is fine, but he is going to be here for a longer run along with Mayank Agarwal. The next 3 games, I want to see that pair. Even if it's a 4-0, whatever. Shubman Gill should be given a long run. Else, switch him to middle order. Even if you think, okay, opening is not good, Sharma is coming in, he needs to be in the playing 11. So I don't expect too many things from Gill. Whatever he has shown in practice games is all good. He should be with a free mind, go ahead and try to play his natural game, not attack too much and not defend too much. Let's score whatever you want, but the message should be given to him that we are looking at you as the long-term prospect, like what Kohli got in the 2011-12 Australia series. Whatever you score, MS said you are going to be in my team. I think that is the hope we need to give to Gill. And let us see, I don't see him as an opener for us, but he will be part of the Indian team.
Junior, there are a lot of ifs and buts. We have a temporary captain right now. With the performance of this entire series, whether the entire management is going to continue or not, he's fighting a very lonely battle. That is what I would definitely get the vibe from this. But the good point is, I want to really register this point. Shubman Gill definitely through his under-19 stint would have had his network with Rahul Dravid. Hope he touches base with him and get his head cleared as to how to approach this particular innings. I want to hear all others' viewpoints also. Anyone can go. Adi, Vaidi, Nevin.
Look, so from my perspective, if you look at Shubman Gill, the addition is definitely right, and probably I would have brought him, beforehand, even in the first match. The reason why I'm saying that is I was never comfortable with Shah being thrown when he was actually not doing his best. One, he was just coming out of all that scandal. Two, he was not comfortable during his domestic season when he was practicing. He came into IPL, he was not doing that great. With all that, I would have probably not brought in Shah, specifically because I would have wanted him to be looked at as a future player for India, and I would have saved him and brought him once he's doing better. Having said that, Gill was brought in as the other opener when you look at it, and he's been doing good. And the matches that they were playing with Australian 11, etc., when they came in, he actually looked solid when he was playing the game. The only thing that I would call out is like what Junior was saying, give him the long rope. Just make sure that you don't dump him after a game. You should tell him that right before the match to go and play his natural game, not play restrictive. At the same time, give him that comfort that he is going to be part of the team and he is actually part of this unit that is going to play for a longer period of time. That will give a big, how do I say, a respite for him, considering that he's going to debut now. So that's going to be very, very important. And as a team management, I would do that first. Tell him that you're part of the unit. Go play your game, irrespective of what you do there. Go play your game and continue. I mean, don't do anything different is what I would try and give him the view. And he's supposed to be there. is the way I think. If Shah is not doing well, he's been knocking at the doors for a long time now. He's given the chance. Let's look at how he performs.
Yeah, will his height be of any advantage? The way he plays pull shots and cut shots, whatever little we have seen him in the warm up match. Do
Super
you
question.
see a real talent in there?
So super question. More
Yeah,
than his pull and cut,
yeah,
he actually can play the stand up, straight bat game also,
yeah,
playing the bounce. So
got
he
it,
doesn't just necessarily go with a flat batted pull or cut,
got it.
right? He actually goes with a slightly more straight batted game there and
Yeah,
stands up tall enough to actually play those shots. So it is definitely beneficial, but at the
got
same
it.
time he needs to be careful about those shots because there is definitely going to be more movement than
Yeah,
what he is used to. So it's not easy to play those shots when there is movement. So he needs to make sure that
yeah,
that's something that he's taken care. It's going to be an advantage, but also probably might be a sticky point for him if in case he starts leaving his bat out.
yeah,
He came
yeah,
out and said this, right? I'm not worried about Australians coming in at me with my bouncers. I know how to handle them. So he has given a statement even before he played his first test match. And
yeah.
I see a lot of Australian bowlers now waiting now with Virat gone. There's going to be some talking that is going to happen. So
Okay.
it's going to be interesting to see how he handles that.
Nevin, your viewpoint. I'll come to Adi next.
Yep. This India versus and all scores freely. I mean, remember the time
Okay,
when India was the number one test team that coincided
correct.
with the most unconventional batsman opening for a test match. That was
Yeah.
Virendra Sehwag.
Mm,
Now, what Virendra
mm,
Sehwag does, he's not your conventional guy, but what he does is manage to get on the nerves of the bowlers by simply disturbing their line and length. Of course, he does not score
correct.
100 in each of his innings. But what I feel is playing positive. I mean, having a positive frame set of mind. Forget the
Yeah.
first match. The worst thing to happen is carrying the baggage of the first match. This should be viewed as the first match, and this should be viewed
Yeah.
as an opportunity to take the attack to the Australians. Okay, you can't
Great point.
start hitting from the first ball. There is no comparison with Sehwag. Shubman Gill is a different player, but he needs
Yeah.
to remember that the way to take it to the attack to the best defense against Aussies is to attack them. I mean, use the
Correct.
crease. If he
Yeah.
feels the bowlers are consistently bowling at the same length, use the crease.
Yeah.
Even if he misses something, the bowler will be in a comfort zone. I mean, you watch the replay of the which fell in the first test. It looked like a computer
Yeah.
generated video on loop. Every batsman was just fending on the ball in the same length. You should not allow the bowlers to bowl at that length consistently. Okay, let them bowl three balls and then over there, but it can't be they
Yeah.
bowl four or five balls on that same length. You
Yeah.
should use your footwork. He's a tall guy. He can quickly adjust his footwork and get on the foot also. So he should use that crease and be a bit more positive.
Awesome. Nevin, it's a great point. When you talk about being aggressive at the crease, I always feel it like this. Okay, it's not about just scoring boundaries. It's a simple rotation of
Absolutely.
strike. Always on the lookout for a jab at the point or
Yeah,
jab
yeah,
at the square leg, and then rotate the strike over. The bowler completely gets disturbed with his new line of attack. The field
yeah.
changes and top it up with a right left combination doing that to the
Yep,
bowlers. I'm a big
yep.
fan of being
Steve
aggressive.
Smith does that. Steve Smith does that.
Fantastic.
He's such an aggressive test player. He never
Yeah,
allows you to bowl in
Yep,
one area with his movement and
yep,
everything, right?
yep.
The same thing you said. Nudge, nudge.
yeah,
He keeps getting singles. The bowler gets frustrated. Broad came out and said this. We don't
correct.
know how to bowl to him because he plays the fifth stump line into the leg side. So yeah, it's important when you say that you can attack this way, not the limited overs
Junior,
way.
Junior, did you observe Labushange, trying to copy Smith's style, in his
He is
batting
more
approach
Smith
for
now.
this
Yep,
test
yep.
match?
He is more
Yes,
Smith
yes,
now than Smith. Smith is not doing that.
Exactly.
He is doing that.
Smith is kind of evolved. Actually.
Yeah. Adi, love to hear your viewpoints. How should Gill approach his test innings?
Okay. a bunch of things on Shubman Gill. So if you remember, when they
Yeah.
broke out both Shubman Gill and Prithvi Shaw, they broke out together as these big stars from the under 19. And
Correct.
but one thing which happened is Shaw kept remaining on the media limelight and the commentary limelight and all that.
Yeah.
Gill kind of went under the radar. If you see,
Correct.
after the initial hype, though he performed really well in the under 19 World Cup, he kind of
Yeah.
went under the radar, under the KKR and all those things, and then people protected him well. He
Yeah.
is less on media. He is less on social media. He's hardly can hear anything from him actually.
Yeah.
Very quiet and very intense kind of a personality, a bit different from Shaw,
Yeah.
and also has a much better game. I feel for conditions like this in terms of playing the short ball and square cut and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
So if he actually talks about having conversations with Rahul Dravid on
Yes.
technique and all those things, and Rahul Dravid said to him the only one thing is never change your basic game. Whatever that got you till here, never change
Correct.
that. Regardless of whether you fail in England, Australia, wherever, it is
Yeah.
always small tweaks about it, but don't entirely change your game which got you here. So he's a guy
Yeah.
who will be very confident about his technique and all those games and all that.
Fine.
But it'll be a bit of a challenge because see, whenever India had good openers, we had I think three very good openers, which is successful openers. I would say Virendra Sehwag, I would say, and then you would have if you go hark back to the older days, you had someone like Akrish Srikanth.
Yeah.
Those people did really well because Srikanth had like a bedrock in the form of Sunil Gavaskar at the other end, who was
Mm.
holding one end, and
Yeah.
Srikanth can do whatever he wants actually. And when
Yeah.
Sehwag was aggressive, he had probably the best middle order in the world, so backing him up.
Correct.
So even if he
Correct.
gets out of the first or second over, you have Rahul Dravid coming in. So what Gill comes inside a team which is completely out of sorts. It's a bit unfair on the kid actually, and he's
Yeah.
also playing with another opener who's not who's finding his feet himself. So
Correct.
it's a bit more of a challenge for him that way. And
Yeah.
I don't think he'll care about whether he'll get the next match and all those things because he's just broken. It's the first match and he'll be like super happy. There'll be stars in his eyes right now, just getting inside MCG. And
Correct.
the last time an Indian opener came inside MCG was Mayank Agarwal, who did really well, and I hope that Gill also does really well.
Fantastic
But
point.
I think you have to be really careful with him. You have to not brand him as this and that and all those things. The same mistake you did with Prithvi Shaw.
Right now, no
You have to,
adjectives have come
yeah.
his way, Adi, which is a good thing.
Yeah, but I find him a bit more of a saner head, a bit more of a guy who kind of goes under the radar, and
Yeah.
he's less reactive. Also, I think he has a good head over the shoulders. But I just hope that you don't judge him based on this and that, and don't brand him into any of these things. So yeah, I have zero
Great.
expectations. I
Adi,
just
just
want him
one
to go
point
there and
here.
enjoy.
Just one
Yeah.
point here. When you spoke about
Yeah.
Gill coming into the team, which is kind of nowhere to be seen, or I don't know where they were going and all that, our captain said it's 1 hour of bad cricket, isn't it? I'm just trying to
Yeah.
correlate. This team has everything, isn't it? It's just 1 hour of
So
bad cricket.
so right
The
now,
team
I
knows
actually
where it is
I
exactly
have a
good.
note. I have a notepad in my house in which I'm noting these 1 hours. Right now, it's cost 48 hours or something. So it's going on and on and on. So yeah,
Hey,
so we seem
hey
to have
guys,
a lot of
guys,
these hours actually, and
let's not make a mountain out of a molehill, guys. Come on.
Seriously.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's- I don't know. I mean, what else should happen? Maybe three all out or something. I don't know. So, yeah.
Okay, hey, interesting couple of viewpoints from the audience. Huh? Deepak has taken this discussion with another question. I'll touch base on that. But before that, Siraj should play 3 matches. This point is from Kavi Arasu. Siraj should play next 3 matches because for next Australia tour, Ishant might not be there. He should take this experience and implement on next tours. Management should invest despite not seeing results. I totally agree, Kabir. So, you know, management investing on youngsters, that seems to be the bigger challenge here. I hope Siraj gets a long term, and he also enjoys the moment. He's going to debut for India, and that too in the Boxing Day test. Just like the point what Adi mentioned about Shubman Gill to enjoy this atmosphere, it is time for Siraj also to do the same. Not think too much far ahead, and then really focus on delivering results for himself and for Team India. Very very important question, guys. I think this is going to be interesting. Do you think Deepak has asked this question? Do you think losing Kohli as a captain is a big deal for India? Point to be noted: losing Kohli as a captain. I want your views on this.
I would say definitely yes, because I think he's a better red ball captain than white ball captain because of the needed aggression that he brings in a test match.
Correct?
Of course, and as a bowling unit, he actually gives that aggression back to the bowling unit as well. When you need your bowling unit to fire up, during the dull phases of the play, second session, and all those stuff. So he does
Yeah.
that very well from a large extent. So definitely, I feel that they would miss him.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how Rahane is going to do it. Just that he doesn't show his expressions on the field, but if he continues to pump up the unit
Yeah.
when they are there on the field, it's good. But having said that, having seen what Kohli does to the
Mm.
bowling unit when they are in the field, I think from a test match perspective or a red ball perspective, I think we would miss him.
I mean, I would like to first hear all your views, and then I am going to throw up another interesting insight, so that we are going to sort of bring another dimension to this particular question. Yeah, please
I
go
think
on.
Australians will come hard at us now. They have already said we are not going to get under Virat Kohli's skin. We know what he
Yeah.
can bring into the fold if we do that. Now he is gone. This is not a young team, but this is a team that does not have a lot of characters, because the moment Ishant was out, Ishant is a character. In the last
Yeah.
few years, we have seen him under Virat. He's a
Mm.
character. So now probably Ashwin is the only guy who can show a different side for this team. But
Okay.
who else I think of? Pujara, Rahane, they're all so mellow, and they might move away from a person who's staring at them. But if they really are going to get into our ears, who is going to
Yeah.
give them back? Us
Rishabh Pant
going
in
one
again.
down the way we went. Punt again did it
Yeah.
because it was Virat, right?
Like,
It
he
was
was
more
he
of
was vocal even for
Virat.
the Delhi games wherever he has played actually.
Is it
When
To be
nobody
okay?
else
honest,
was playing.
Junior,
That would be
I'll
interesting.
I'll I'll give
Mhm.
you another example of Punt's character. Huh? When Ricky Ponting was giving,
Yeah.
round of interview with the panels from the commentary
Right,
box,
right.
this guy came, disturbed him, trying to, sort of steal his. I mean, I think he's by nature that kind of a
He's a
guy. He
playful
needs
guy. Yeah.
to have a Virat Kohli to actually do that for him. So, yeah, please go on.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it will be interesting. Maybe, as you said, if Punt can bring the other side, I mean, it's
Yeah,
not going to be an abuse. It's all going to be good banter. But I could see probably Pat Cummins or maybe Hazelwood coming in and throwing some words at us to just
yeah,
push us off the track. It will be interesting to see how we handle without Virat Kohli, because Australia
yeah,
has been the land we have always feared, right? Even with all the stalwarts in our team, it was never easy for us to go there and push against a team which had a lot of characters. So
got it.
now, in the last few years, even in 2014, we lost at 2-0, but we saw visual fears with Australians when Virat was playing. I don't think they
Got it.
were afraid of any other cricketer than Virat
Mm.
Kohli ever. The fear is now seen. They were all
Yeah,
so friendly, not just because of IPL. They don't want to, do anything
Antagonize.
that is going to push the button, and Virat
yeah,
is going to, go ballistic. So
yeah,
this phase is important, I believe. So how
Yeah.
much we are going to miss, I'm not sure,
yeah.
but we are going to miss it big time.
Adi
Yeah.
and Neville, your
Um,
viewpoint.
yeah, of course, you're going to miss him as a captain. There's no brainer, and he's
Okay.
one. He's a one-off. Whether you like him or not, that's a different thing. But he's a very different guy. He's a bit like Vivian Richards. He reminds me of when Richards used to tour Australia, right, in the 80s, late 80s, and all. So, like
Yeah,
what Junior is saying, the mortal fear you can see actually. They know that they are no match to this guy. So he was like, and you can even say saw that in the test documentary, right?
yeah,
They spoke so much about Kohli. I never seen the Australian, the backroom staff talking about any other player like this at whatever
yeah,
time. So he
yeah,
gets into their skin because he behaves just like them, and he's also a damn good bat. So
yeah,
as a batsman, absolutely, and as a captain, as a red ball captain, absolutely, yes, you're going to miss him. And
yeah,
aggression, I don't know because our batsmen are not standing for more than 2 hours to actually show aggression. So aggression will come when you bat really well, and they have to do something else, right? I mean, you keep
yeah,
edging for every 10th ball. They don't need any aggression actually. They can just bowl the ball. So that is there. Of course, yeah, you're going to miss him. You're going to miss him. But Rahane, Rahane is actually aggressive with his tactics, if you understand what I mean. He's
Correct.
not
Correct.
really he's not a guy who's going to shout and he's not going to come up to the face of. It reminds me a lot of Rahul Dravid in that way. Not as a
Yeah.
batsman, Dravid is like far ahead, but as a
Mm,
captain, Dravid was also like he was pretty aggressive as a captain actually, and tactically aggressive. And
yeah.
Rahane handles spinners better, and we have
Correct.
two spinners in this match actually. And
Yes.
Ashwin and Rahane have a fantastic rapport with each other. Ashwin is a lot more comfortable with him
Yeah.
expressing ideas. I think Ashwin is going to be very key in terms of being a leader in the pitch. Because now you don't have Kohli. Ashwin has to step up more than just a bowler. He has to be the guy who has
Mm,
to keep running up to Rahane, talk about tactics and with the setup and all that. Yeah,
yeah.
so you need multiple players because Ian Chappell said this. Ian Chappell, Michael Holding, they had a conversation. So said whenever you lose a great batsman like a great bowler, that
Yeah.
batsman cannot be replaced by one person. It has to be the team collectively coming in and pulling in.
Yeah.
So the existing leaders who we have and is doing well,
Yeah.
all those guys have to come up and match that because as a test leader, he is like he's at a different level. Yes.
Got it. Let's hear Nevin's view also on this. Nevin?
Prashant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me, the point with aggression is not just verbally. I would
Yeah.
say with Aussies being field placing, not losing your
Yeah.
cool when you hit a couple of boundaries and removing the slips and forward shot leg. Your field
Mm,
placing should be constantly aggressive. Not just the bat. You
correct.
should be as a captain. You should not hold your head down. The thing with Kohli is he
Yeah.
might be at a low, but he does not
Mm,
convey a body language which will tell the Aussies, "Yeah, I have already won the battle." So, I mean, you
correct.
need to literally do an acting out there. You have to be a good actor there on the field with Aussies. So,
Yeah.
So it's
Oh my God,
brilliant point
fantastic
actually.
points. Yeah.
I mean, to
Brilliant.
start from there, Kohli is a very good actor. He has been acting to us that this team is doing so well, and we are one of the best team over the years. So you must be a good actor. He's a good actor. I will give him that.
And
There's no
press
Yeah,
second.
conference.
but that's
He's a good actor
that's
actually.
but
But I
that's
mean,
needed to
Nevin
up
is
the
back.
ante on.
really good points actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know Nevin.
Yeah. If not for the
About,
internet, that was like I was just listening like
do I
this. My
have the
God. Yeah.
time?
yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nevin.
you
yeah,
have all the time. Then come on.
Yeah. So, I mean, we need to also be mindful that before Virat, we had a Captain Cool. Okay. So, Captain Cool's strength came from having the right bowling changes, making the right bowling changes, which could be construed as
Yeah.
sometimes weird, but I would say sometimes aggressive. And
Correct.
also having a point of view wherein you don't lose the cool instantly against the bowlers. That is where I feel the current captain might have an edge over Kohli. I mean, you don't need to be very dramatic with each and every, say, a missed fielding or a missed catch. You can immediately pep them up and say, it's one chance, you're going to get more chances. So that could be one of the positive aspects of a different personality being a captain. The bowlers
Yeah.
getting a longer rope. But definitely, from when you're batting, you're only two people on the field. So, as a captain, the best thing you can do as a batting captain is to lead by example, which would be the
Correct.
X factor here. Kohli,
Yeah.
Again.
I mean,
Okay.
the
Just to
template
again.
the template he should look at is like Mark Taylor. I already told you now
Correct. Correct.
Mark Taylor was not a guy who's going to sit like Steve Waugh, give the stares and all those things. Not like Ricky Ponting, but he
Yeah.
was tactically unbelievable, tactically aggressive. See, I'll tell you, if a batsman comes outside and I have two slips and a short leg and a silly point, I don't need to say anything else actually. I'm scaring them already, right?
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
people around me just like surrounding me. So tactically aggressive Rahane is, but I'm worried about his batting actually more than that.
Sometimes as stupid
So
as
coming to
decision
that,
can be, in a T20 game, you have a silly point. The batsman's ego is really pricked, right? He would definitely want to break that rhythm and try some things out of the box, and that is where you provide a little edge to your set of bowlers.
Yeah,
Now,
and if
in
you remember, like
defending, yeah,
Gambhir did this to MS Dhoni, if you remember, right? In a T20 match, he
yeah, yeah,
surrounded
yeah,
him with all
yeah,
this short leg fielders and really irritated him actually. So
correct.
yeah, possible.
Okay, it's important point, guys. Ishan Sharma has gone on record and stated that These are his exact words. I must say, Ajinkya Rahane is a bowler's captain. Whenever Virat was not there, he would ask me, "What kind of field you want? When you want to bowl?" He's not someone who would say, "Do this or do
Hmm.
that." Okay.
I will
Now,
tell you, Prashant. I will tell you, Prashant.
will yeah, yeah,
Sorry to cut you here. I will tell you,
no
we
problem.
have a big problem now because we
Correct.
have Umesh Yadav who doesn't understand what is field placements at all. He literally doesn't know. He will come and bowl like a bowling machine, right? He doesn't know how to set fields for his own bowling. MS has said that so many times. And then we have a newcomer in Siraj coming up. I would
Yeah,
say
Hmm.
now the time is for Bumrah. I think he's going to be very crucial. He's going to be the bowling captain for us.
such a
He
valid
has
point.
to be
Which
with these two people
Yeah,
Junior,
because they are not going to set fields.
that reminds me of how Pakistan used to operate. Like when Wakar is captain or Inzamam is captain, Wasim
yeah,
Akram was the bowling captain actually. He used to set the fields for all the fast bowlers, and except Wakar. Wakar has his own ego. But I'm just saying that Bumrah again, like I said, you need more leaders now stepping up. Bumrah, Ashwin, all those people now have to step up.
correct. Yeah, we did
So
cover Ashwin having a partner in Ravindra Jadeja where Ashwin can go ahead and attack more.
Yes.
Bumrah definitely has to attack. Great point of views. Guys, I would like to definitely read some of the good point of views which are covered by our audience. Okay. Kavi Arasu has gone again and said, if we compare our batting lineup with Aussies, only difference is Smith. I would like to slightly differ from that viewpoint. Another difference is, of course, Virat Kohli not being there. Okay. Yeah, Labushange is definitely finding his feet, but we provided him chances. So Indian bowlers will
Joe
try.
Burns is going to be our
Yeah,
nemesis now. He will
Anirudh was
start to
like
score. He already has a 50.
Anirudh has made a fantastic point about the size of the MCC stadium and
yes. Yeah,
having distance between the fielders and not able to interact, and Rahane being kind of a dominant captain. How the it's a fantastic point of view
So it's
actually.
a
great.
brilliant point. So
Yeah,
if you're not proactive in these kind
Yeah.
of grounds, you will lose
Yes.
a
yeah,
session by session easily, and
Yeah.
that's a super point. And I think seeing Rahane on field,
yeah,
and even during Virat Kohli's time, he's actually a hands-on captain. He doesn't actually shy away from going and talking to the bowlers, understanding what is needed. At the same time,
mm,
even in the field, he actually kind of leads the field there, even while
yeah,
Kohli is there. So that's not a worry I see. But as a
yeah,
team, as an inexperienced team, they should probably go with a collective mindset where the biggest problem I see is Cheteshwar Pujara as a vice captain, right? I think Ashwin would have been made a much better vice captain at this point because he
correct.
will bring in those the viewpoint from a bowler perspective. One, two, he is
Yeah,
also better cricketing brain. But having said
Yeah.
that, um,
which is also
Ajinkya,
mentioned by Anirudh here. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
One of
yeah,
the comments.
He's the
Ash is the
best
best
cricketing
cricketing
player.
mind. Great
so
point of view.
And
which also
Kavi,
means that Rahane is hands-on. He goes to the bowlers.
yeah.
He will not let that happen. But
Yeah,
it will only happen as a team because the team is a little under experienced from that perspective. That's the only reason that we might lose sessions, not
yeah.
necessarily because of Rahane.
Yeah. Kaviaras is asking why do we find it so difficult to dismiss the lower order? It's been a perennial problem for the last 30, 40 years actually.
No,
Not
no,
new.
no, no, no. When everyone comes to India, our tail backs so long, such that I'm sure that their experts would want to kind of go at the bowlers because England, I mean, every Goomba who in our tail scored against them. So it's not just that we are facing it difficult. Overall, in the globe, in
In,
their home conditions,
no, not just now.
the tail is batting long.
Not just now. I'm talking about even the history of cricket. There are other sides which wrapped up tails big time so easily. Australia, Pakistan, everyone used to do. Not just talking about now. I'm just saying it's a long term malaise. I'm just not talking about today's bowlers. So there
Got it.
were
From
sides which
80s.
used
Yeah.
epic 90s again. Pakistan used
I
to
have
just
a
wrap it up like this. So
I have a slightly different viewpoint there with respect to Bumrah and others. See, we are not scoring enough. That way, we are actually seeing the opponent's
hmm,
tail is wagging a bit more than what we all expect. But
true.
actually, Indian bowlers are knocking even the top order as well as the tailenders. brilliantly over a period of 1 year or 1.5 years. So we have to score more, right? At the end of the day, that is where our problem is.
I
Sriram Shekhar
agree. Yeah.
again asked the point about Nattu could have been a surprise pick. Team India missed a trick there. Yeah, probably the left-hander definitely adds advantage. We did cover this point in the early part of our conversation, Sriram, but very good point there. So we don't have any more comments. I would like to definitely place this as the last question for our discussion. Win the toss. Is it going to provide any advantage to the teams?
Look, from my perspective, off late,
Yeah,
especially in Australia with most of these drop-in pitches,
yeah,
it's not carrying the kind of legacy that usually these pitches used to carry.
mm,
But having said that, you still in any test you would probably not want to, if in case the test continues for 4 or 5 days, which is
okay,
not happening now. But if in case it carries, I wouldn't probably want to bat, on the fourth or the fifth day in these drop-in pitches because Nathan Lyon has been bowling really, really well the last
correct.
2 days once they go through. So I would probably go batting first,
Yeah,
play the third innings rather than the fourth innings.
great. Others?
If we bat first, I think we need to score minimum of 350.
Yeah,
Because if we don't end up reaching somewhere nearby 350, Australia will come in and score 500 plus. On MCG wicket, they will easily score 500 plus. It doesn't matter what their batting lineup is. We would be thrown out of the game if we don't score enough runs. So we need to score if we bat first. If we bowl first, I would say even if they end up scoring somewhere 350, 375, that's
yeah,
not the worst. We can still stay in the game if
yeah,
we bowl first. But if we allow them to go to 450, I don't want to say it, but there could be an innings defeat if they score 450. We are already down and out, and if they
yeah,
come hard at us, it is going to be very difficult. So if we bowl first, anything above 400
yeah,
is going to be difficult for our batting lineup. But if we bat first, score 350, we will still be in the game until and unless we have a bad collapse in the second innings like we had. If not, we will
okay,
still be in the game. There is no Warner. There is no Warner. We can still keep that in mind.
yeah,
But Steven Smith averages 113 in MCG.
yeah,
If we don't take him out, him scoring 250 is not going to be a surprise for me. So I would say bowl first, take Smith out easily.
yeah.
Take him early. If we bat first, score 350. That's what I would say we have to do.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
I
Adi.
think you have to bat first because I don't think our batting is good enough to chase anything on the first innings. I have to say because the batting is completely brittle, has zero confidence, and you're not going to score anything of Nathan Lyon and Cummins and Stark at the first innings. The only way I think I see is batting first.
Yeah,
This lineup, one good thing is you have a lot of new players who don't carry the scar of the first match. They're coming
yeah,
in fresh. Actually, the 36 thing is not on them,
yeah,
and. So there is a chance doing that, and my only worry is Steve Smith has not scored anything actually, and we are already down and out. And if he
mm,
starts scoring, and we are like pretty much dead actually, because the whole batting will start scoring around him. So he is very very scary and critical. And also now that we have an extra bowler in Ravindra Jadeja, you have a wider attack. I think your
yeah.
chances of defending a total might be better in the last time. I don't think our batting will stand any chance in both innings. Yes.
Great point. Nevin, your viewpoint?
Be positive, bat first. That's the only thing I can think of. I think the guys have explained it well.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really glad, we this 1 hour and 10 minutes just flew like crazy. Amazing point of view, guys.
Why he
Amazing.
has to,
Prashant,
why
last
he has to
point
make
here.
a point?
If we lose this series 4-0, if New
Yeah,
Zealand goes on to thump Pakistan 2-0, we are out
yeah,
of contention of playing the Test Championship after galloping so many points at the start. This is a question for every one of you. Are we to be really branded as home track bullies if that happens?
No, not
I
really.
think every
That's
side today
also
has a
because
home
the
track
way the
bully.
Test Championship points are actually designed, it matters a
Mhm.
lot. It's not just because of the home ground bullies point. If you
Yeah,
actually
and
go back, the way it is designed, it makes a big difference.
today I
Um,
think
but
every side is a home track bully. Nobody plays well away actually. I don't think, other than maybe South Africa used to do well under Graham Smith, and
Correct.
Matabadi,
We are
they
the
give a
best
better
Indian
challenge. You can
side
say.
ever. We are the best Indian side ever. Remember?
Yeah.
Adjectives.
I mean, and they are the best side ever. And British was the combination of Sachin and Lara and Bradman, whatever. So please, I mean, if you want analogies, we can keep giving it. Actually, Bumrah is a mixture of Wasim Akram and Makal. We can actually have a show like that. Like a
Yeah,
spoof
yeah.
where we describe. Yeah,
I mean, with all Shastri's adjectives and Kohli's press conference statements, which Adi has already collated, we should just gather for a separate meeting on
yeah,
that.
yeah. I have 48 hours of data if you want. The 48 hours in which we failed, just as 48 hours. So.
You can
Aimful,
write a
guys.
book.
I just want to add a couple of viewpoints from the guys, which we had already covered. Srinath VS is asking how will Pant go about his batting? His natural game is where he is at best. We totally agree with it. He has to definitely counter attack, but he has to not go hammer tongs each and every delivery. He can also build innings in the bargain, right? So he has scored hundreds in the past. So definitely, not a bad bet to actually expect the same from the guy. Anirudh has mentioned about Jumbo, key to finishing tailenders. Yeah, Indian fast bowlers are also doing quite a lot these days. Our bowling unit has really evolved to a nice place. Is what this is also we had covered. It was a great discussion. Thanks a lot, guys. It was entertaining stuff. Even with respect to the technical glitches, Nevin, great viewpoints, man. Thanks a lot for bringing in a new perspective. Adi and Adi Junior, as expected, firing, and Vaidi. Thanks a lot with your critical analysis as always. I think audience would have definitely enjoyed it. We did make it a very good interactive session today, as we all could see how people have posted questions
Yeah,
and we
we
have
thank
covered
all
it.
the commenters.
Great,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, what are the things coming up? Probably day two again. We can, if possible, we could catch up and analyze the Boxing Day test. Keeping my fingers
And
crossed for that.
we'll have a
If we stay alive in the test match.
we'll have a collective crying session actually. You can have that.
You know why I
Rant.
say day two, guys? Because no more day three is the moving day. Test match can end on
Yeah,
day three also. Day two has
yeah.
become moving day now.
Absolutely.
So, hey, thanks a
Dude,
lot.
I woke up and saw 36 for whatever, man, and I can never. So 26 for 9. 26 for 9. I was like 260. Macha 269 ada. Illa, 26 for 9. Okay.
Okay, guys. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
thank you.
Yep.